What's up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Porto, photographer, videographer, and educator. And today on the channel, what I want to talk about is why I believe every photographer, not just wedding photographers, should shoot at least a few engagement sessions. So before we dive straight into it, there will be parts of this video that will more so speak to those in the wedding industry than those who do not. So what I want to do is, so I don't waste anybody's time, is the first 2 points will be directed to the general public of photographers. And then the ones after will pertain a little more to the wedding industry, but I truly believe that anybody watching this can get something out of it. So let's dive into the first 2 points of why I believe that every photographer should shoot at least a few engagement sessions. So the first reason is that I think an engagement session is unlike any other kind of photo session out there. And one thing that it can really do is show you where you can develop as a photographer on the communication side. You could be a stellar creative, but there will be times in every avenue of photography where you will need communication to truly execute what you want from a scene. And sometimes you will strike gold and you'll work with a model or a subject or a client that kind of just gets it. Based off of their experience, they just get it. Or they kind of can piece together what you're trying to say. They go out there and nail it. But a lot of times you're not at that level where you're working with that kind of client. And sometimes you are at that level, but you're still not able to get that point across to that client, or that client's just not able to really read your mind. That's where your instructions are just as important as your camera skills. Most times, an engaged couple has not spent a lot of time in front of the camera. Maybe a few selfies here and there, but most couples are not models. I get told that all the time by my clients. So it's important to work with couples like that because it will really stretch you in your communication and being able to vocalize what it is that you really want from the couple and from your scene. And another thing is that emotions can run rampant when it comes to a subject that might not have a ton of experience. And there's no photo shoot like an engagement shoot when it comes to having emotions. So being able to work with your couple and kind of get them to a point of peace, even in the midst of the emotions, and get the results that you want will help you in all avenues of photography in your photo shoots. These kind of sessions can really help you learn how to vocalize and instruct a subject without being too pushy, and also learn to get the best out of a subject who may be a little bit camera shy. Then my second point. A lot of times we schedule photo shoots with friends, families, models, and even couples. And those shoots are important and they matter. However, a lot of times the importance of those may be a little less critical than that of an engagement session, okay? Because the engagement session is super important to this couple, and a photographer should be able to be at their best and truly strive to give the couple an incredible experience. Also, there's a timeline that this couple has to follow. So they're not looking to recreate this shoot if something goes wrong. So time is important to them, which means this is something you got to get right the first time. And that's a lot of pressure on a photographer's shoulders. Obviously, the pressure's not to the extent of maybe working with Coca-Cola and you have an hour to get everything done and they've paid you $50,000. That's a different level of pressure. However, a lot of us aren't here yet, but a lot of us want to get there. And in order to get there, we have to be able to handle that pressure well. And we also have to make sure that in that photo shoot, we're able to kill it. And an engagement session will really push you to be able to test your skills and what you're able to do when it matters. So engagement sessions are a great way to prepare for future shoots of importance and where there is a lot on the line. Now I'm going to move on and speak a little more to the wedding industry, but like I said in the intro, I truly believe that these points can help others as well. So if you're willing, stay tuned and listen to the rest of the video. So the next reason is that it's kind of like a first date with you and your couple. It is where you really start to break the ice. It's where you really start to build that spark for what you and your camera will be able to do for them on the wedding day. All relationships have a first date. And then they progress. And so this is an opportunity to have that first date, to get the butterflies out of there, to kind of break the mold and get to know each other and build that relationship so that it's a lot easier on a wedding day to do what you came to do, make magic and make the couple look amazing. And on that first date, you really get to show who they are and what they love. Like this shoot right here. This right here is Caleb and Courtney. And Caleb used to work in the cocktail industry and they both love craft cocktails. That's what they bonded over in their earlier dates. And so he wanted to do the photo shoot and so did she in the bar that he used to work at. So they didn't really care so much about perfect lighting or anything like that. They wanted to capture the essence of what they loved. So they invited me into something like that, their first date. And we were able to create that vibe. And also this shoot right here, Ashley and Wesley. When they got together, one of the things that they first did in their first date was that they cooked together. Instead of going out and buying something, they cooked together. And that's kind of been their thing ever since. They don't really go out as much. They stay home, they cook, and they create memories. So when we talked about doing their engagement session and I asked what they really loved, they talked about that and we decided let's just do a home session and let's capture you guys creating a meal together because that is what is intimate and beautiful about your relationship. And so they invited me into that and we were able to kind of connect over that. So that first date is so important. This couple right here, they loved volleyball, but they didn't want to be cheesy and play volleyball in the city in front of everybody. So we just implemented it here just to show that that was there. This couple, they love beer. So, of course, we're going to introduce and show beer because that is what their dates are like and they're inviting me into their date. So these are the kind of things you really want to focus on. So don't skip out an engagement shoot because you don't want to just go straight to the wedding. You want to have that first date. You want to build with them. And this is the greatest way to build a foundation. Think of any house. A house can't be built without a foundation. To me, the engagement session is that foundation. And in building that foundation, it goes to my second point. And that is that an engagement session breaks down the walls of awkwardness for the couple before the wedding day. So most of my couples are not full-time models. If yours are, congratulations. But mine, they are not. So getting photographed all the time is not something that they do. And the idea of being in front of a camera can be intimidating. And so being able to get your couple to become natural in front of the camera lens before the wedding day is so important. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'll get inquiries and they'll say something like, hey, I don't know if you're interested in working with us. We're not really comfortable in front of the camera. We're not models like a lot of the couples that we see on your Instagram and your website. And I have to chuckle because most of the couples that they're talking about said the exact same thing in their inquiry forms. But we were able to break down that awkwardness in building that relationship time. And by the time the wedding day came, the awkwardness was gone. We were able to get rid of that so that when wedding day came, it was natural and easy, kind of like hanging out with friends. And so it's also cool because a lot of times at the end of the session, a couple will ask me how they did. And this is where I'm able to be honest with them and share what I might have seen, if anything. And those things then get perfected before the wedding day comes. So if you read a lot of my reviews, they'll talk about how they were worried. They were concerned about how they were going to be in front of the camera. And being able to break that down so that come wedding day, they're ready to just go out there and have a blast and kill it is so, so important. And then my third reason, it's a time of trust building with the couple. This is where you can actually show the couple that they made the right decision in hiring you. And if they haven't made that decision yet, it shows them that you are the right decision, that they should hire you. It lets them see what it's like to truly work with you. They already like what they saw on your Instagram or your website, but when they see themselves in the images and see that you could achieve with them what they loved that you did for the other couples, that's when it's going to take it to a whole new level. They are going to trust you. They are going to know that they are in the right hands and all pressure is off on their part because they know that you have their best interest in mind. So for my business, there's two things I tell every couple I want to do. One, I want them to look at the photos and know what they felt in that moment. Know that it was real. Know that everything that happened was sincere. I didn't tell them to belly laugh on the count of 3. That's just not something I do. The second is I want them to look at the photos and say, holy frick, that's us. Look how hot we look. The only way you can do that is by building trust because they'll let you into those areas of their life and their relationship where they can be vulnerable and honest and have real emotion with each other in front of you. And then that second part is possible on the wedding day because they saw that I was able to do that in the engagement session. I deliver those photos and they're able to say, holy crap, that's us. That allows them to fully trust me when it comes wedding day. No other person, coordinator, mom, dad, cousin, bridal party, none of them really have a say when it comes to what the photos are gonna look like, because by that time, the couple will completely trust you. Then my fourth reason, there's no time restriction. On a wedding day, if you get 25 to 35 minutes with a couple, congratulations, you are winning. However, on an engagement session, you can spend 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours. It doesn't really matter. You're able to just create with them and give them image on image on image that they will love forever. And in the 60 to 90 minutes, that's when you will learn what worked best for the couple and what images were the most natural for them and what they loved most. And why is this important? First, if you're just doing the same poses for every single couple, stop. Not every pose is going to work for every single couple. You kind of got to read the room. You got to figure out what works. An engagement session allows that to happen. You're able to edit those images and go, yes, this worked well with them. They looked flattering in this image. They looked stellar in this pose. Or, nope, this really didn't work. I shouldn't do this on the wedding. Yep, this was perfect. I need to do this on the wedding. That is what an engagement session allows you to do. And then my fifth point, it's an engagement session. It's a time to try something new. I never, ever, ever, ever suggest for any photographer to use their limited time on a wedding day to try something that they've seen on someone else's Instagram or on someone's YouTube page. That is not the time for trial and error at all. An engagement session is the perfect time for trial and error. Since you have that 60 plus minutes to do whatever the heck you want, this is a time where you could say, I saw something on Instagram or I pinned something on Pinterest that I really want to try, and you get to try it then. Because it doesn't really matter if it doesn't work out, you just don't have to deliver that photo and you're not wasting limited time. So in that time, you can try something and say, holy crap, this is amazing. I killed it. Now I know I can add that to what I do on wedding days, because there's enough time on an engagement session for failed shots. So I will try something like the first time I tried a prism, or the first time I tried a reflection with my phone, or the first time I introduced some prism lens filters that I purchased into my arsenal was on an engagement session. So I could know what works so that on wedding day, I can use what I know will be best for the couple. Do not use the couple's precious time to test your creativity. So these are the reasons that I think that every photographer should at least shoot a few engagement sessions. I truly believe that it will make us better at what we do for other avenues as well. So whether you're in the wedding industry or not, I encourage you to at least try this. It might not be something that you continue to do, but at least try it a few times and watch yourself grow. And if you're in the wedding industry and you're like, yeah, I don't do that anymore, I've moved past engagement sessions, stop. Don't move past something that is so important for the couple. Like, even if you think you're above them, this is important for the couple. Come wedding day, they should be able to get the best experience out of having you as their photographer, and they're trusting you. They're paying you to be able to bring the best out of them. So use the engagement session to help your couple. It's more about them than it is about us. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, God bless.